Hey, Chris Lipe here. This video is in direct response to several questions I've gotten on YouTube about forward singing. What is forward singing? Is forward singing really what you should be doing? How should it feel? I'm going to give you a very practical exercise to help you discover what forward singing should indeed feel like, and I'm going to discuss why I believe it is so important for developing and maintaining a great voice. Now, it's impossible for any singer to fully realize what any aspect of their voice should actually feel like if they don't have fundamental support, breath support, diaphragmatic support down. You have to understand what that should feel like and how to get there without having to go through a huge checklist, right? If you need help doing that, and if you want to take your voice even beyond what we're doing in this video, be sure to click the link below and join my free vocal course. Okay, forward singing. A lot of people say that in terms of from the classical era or genre, that forward singing is actually not good. You want to be back. You want to be somewhere in the middle. You don't want to be swallowing your notes or your vowels, but you don't want to be forward. Well, the classical mindset, classically trained mindset, which I spent time with when I was in college, doesn't really take into account that most singing that certainly I listen to and do, that's all done for a mic, not done for a big room without a mic, a big acoustically echoey sort of thing. And by putting your voice back a little bit and focusing on the resonance a little bit further back into your tissues, that does work better in some instances for this non-mic'd, fully acoustic vocal approach. But we are singing into mics. And whether you're doing it live, whether you're doing it in the studio, singing into mics, you get way more out of your voice if you are forming your vowels from here forward. I talk much more about that in my course. And if you are focusing your resonance in two places, your mask area and your downward firing abdominal muscles. This sort of dichotomy is what's going to give us not only energy and longevity, but fantastic recordable tone, which is really, even if we're singing live, that's what we're going for because we're singing into a mic. So there's the case for forward placement. Now let's talk more about what it is. The forward singing mindset should start with the same concept that I've talked about before regarding belting. We want to envision a ball of energy in the front of our mouth that's vibrating our teeth, that we, in a sense, feel ending on the tip of our tongue. Not that we want to be tense. We really don't want to introduce tension here, and that's where this thing that I was talking about really does come into play in a huge way. But in order for us to help us place our voice in the right way to make sure that we are forward, I want to introduce some liquid into my singing. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of liquid water into my voice, and I'm going to store it. I actually need a little bit more, but I'll finish talking. I'm going to store it sort of below my tongue, a little bit more. And, and as we do this, notice I can barely talk because the water's in the way, but I can sing. I can even go through all the vowels. Oh, go into my head resonance. Now, when I'm doing that, that water is doing a couple things that help me really discover what forward should feel like. It's pointing out that if I tense my jaw, I'm not in it for the long haul, right? I have to hold that water. If I start tensing my jaw, that means I also start tensing my tongue, and then I also, I'll splash the water in my mouth and spit it out. That accidentally. We don't want that. So I have to maintain a relaxed jaw. The other thing that it helps me do is I have this thing in my mouth. It's not invisible anymore. It's not imaginary. It's this actual substance in my mouth. And when I focus on vibrating that water with my voice, I am singing forward. I am placing my resonance forward. It is a mind thing. It is a mind thing. It is not magic. It's just that by having that there and having something call attention to that area, it is making an opportunity for me to focus in a certain way. The other thing it's doing is it is keeping my tongue from going down and being pinned to my lower teeth. Another area that people really get messed up with when it comes to tension, a tense tongue. If my tongue is up just a little bit, then I'm keeping it looser than if I have it pinned to my teeth or pinned to the roof of my mouth. So the other thing that you'll notice when you do this, now, what's happening to my speech? What's happening to my speech? Well, I'll talk just a little bit more. It sounds pretty funny. But the fact that my voice, and even, now if I were to start doing phrases like this while I was singing, like this, she said she never were. Excuse me. The consonants are what's screwed up, right? The vowels are not what's screwed up. It's the consonants. So what this is helping to show us, and even what I'm about to say, a lot of people, including myself, are like, well, duh. But there's a difference between experiencing it and hearing about it, right? But what this is exposing in our singing is that vowel resonance and the production of consonants are very, very different things and influenced by different factors when we produce sound. Again, why is this such a huge revelation? Well, it's because when we tend to lump words together as not, consonants and vowels, we miss an opportunity to fully resonate on the vowel. In other words, this water is helping me get things out of the way and focus in such a way where I can get truly forward vowel resonance independent of forming consonants. And then when we get the water out of there, we still can envision the sensation that we remember with the water and then focus on forming our consonants. But if we go for some water one more time here, there's another cool set of discoveries we can make. Pour it down in here. Do this with your your Keep your lips loose, keep your mouth loose, keep your neck loose, and just feel what happens to that water. If you don't feel it, the energy going there, if you don't feel the water vibrating, you're too far back. You are swallowing your sound. It's a great test. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. I realize it's unconventional and maybe a little bit weird, but it's definitely worked for me, and I know it's worked for a lot of other people as well. So keep me posted on how it works for you, and be sure to let me know other ideas you have for vocal lessons here on YouTube. I love making them. And again, be sure to join my free vocal course linked below to take this stuff further and to discover more about your own voice. We'll see you for more.